What's up, guys? Um, that was fucking terrible. That was just awful. I don't even like Billy. I don't even have. I'm not even like introing here. Like, welcome to Panther Source weekly live post game show. I mean, this was just. This is a game that should not have gone the way it went.
Not at all.
Just
The game plan looked good on the first drive.
I mean, it has to.
And after that, it just went. The whole game went to complete trash.
Trash. That was, dude. This is. Listen to me. I don't even really know where even like to start. This was bad. I don't get it at all. Yeah, the first drive looked great. That's exactly what we expected. You know, we talked about it in a preview show. This is a game, especially coming off the Steelers' loss, the way they lost against the Steelers after a few great weeks of, you know, good offensive games and good defensive games. They went up and they put up a goose egg on a short week against the Steelers, and we're all like, okay, short week, let's give them a little bit of slack here. You're playing at Pittsburgh. That's not an easy place to play. They've got good weapons. They just got outmatched on a short week. Fine. That's fine. Most teams do on Thursday Night Football. So we have 10 days. We're going to be ready, right, Billy? We're going to be ready. We're going to be ready for this game. No.
According to the coaches, we were more than ready.
Yeah, well, I guess most of us fell for that anyway. It wasn't even like, I wasn't even looking at that personally. I was just sitting here thinking the veterans and the Pro Bowlers on this team are going to know how to, like, come out at least this game. I wasn't talking about, like, against the Seahawks or any games in the future. It was just this game. I felt like, okay, we're going on the road against the Lions after what we did to them last year. This is a bad team right now. They're beat up with injuries. You had Marvin Jones out. The only receiver they had that's relevant is Kenny Galladay.
Yep.
They had Kerryon Johnson at running back, and they had Matt Stafford, who's been bad all year. Outside of that, I mean, that was it. That's all we had to stop. And their first drive looked good, too. I mean, Matt Stafford drove it down the field. Well, excuse me. Carry on them down the field to the touchdown to tie things 7-7. Then the defense did their job, it felt like. And then the offense just disappeared. Devin Funchess with a really bad game, Billy. Bad homecoming for him. Second homecoming.
Yeah. He had bricks on his hands today or something. I don't know what it was. And dropping the ball in the end zone, dropping the ball in the middle of the field, dropping the ball when it's wide open, jumping early. Dude. Awful.
This is look, our chats are blowing up right now. I'm Cypher on YouTube Live trying to figure out who shit the bed the most this game between Gennaro, Rivera, Funchess, or Cam. Well, look, Cam had a few miscues early that I was upset with, but overall, I mean, he didn't play a terrible game. He was 25 of 37, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had the one interception that came at the end of the first half where I told Billy, look, let's kneel this train wreck into halftime. We got lucky they didn't come away with the extra field goal there because it was right at the 50 when they got the ball with like 40 seconds left and timeouts. So, and outside of that, like, I felt like early on, you know, I was telling you, Billy, Cam was not reading the read option well, which is something that he's always done pretty good at.
Yep.
But he was handing the ball off when he should have kept it, and he was keeping it when he should have handed the ball off.
He was keeping it all day when he should have thrown it away for his 3 sacks.
Yeah, and look, where Gano missed the 3-point field goal, we all know it was frustrating as hell. Cam took the sack right before. That, to me, is more frustrating.
Yeah.
Look, I love Cam Newton to death. I'm a big Cam supporter. That falls on Cam Newton, in my opinion. Like, some of the blame definitely goes to Gano. Don't get me wrong. Gano, that's a 34-yard field goal. Gano should make it. No doubt about it. But that's a situation where Cam was sitting back there for 10 seconds. He had the whole left side to run. And this is where I don't understand the argument that Cam takes off running. He just, when he backs up and he doesn't see his first read open, Cam just takes off running. You know, that's everybody's, like, main argument with Cam Newton because he's a mobile quarterback.
Yep.
That's not the case at all, in my opinion. Like, he stands back there and stands too long at times, in my opinion.
Yeah. And his completion percentage is up this year, and it's got to do with Norv's quick passes. And today he was missing wide open reads, and the long balls when it's third and manageable, and the long balls when you got 1 yard.
But the matchups were there, man. You can't listen. The matchups are there. The bunch formation late where he took the shot to Funchess, the matchup was there. Cam missed him. Earlier, the matchup was there, and Funchess dropped the damn ball. Funchess was like Tony from C3 Cat Chronicles posted on Twitter. He was like a $10 scratch-off ticket today. He has 1 of 7 odds. I think he had 6 drops. One of those deep shots on a third down from Cam was there, and he jumped before Cam even threw the ball, it seemed like. I mean, it was awful. And if he had just kept running, it'd fell right in his hands. It was terrible. Cam holding on to the ball too long there was frustrating. And then Gano missing it, topping it off, was just as bad. I know we've had some people supporting Gano, and I've kind of been with our buddy Den over at Keep Pounding, and was kind of been one of the few saying, y'all need to pipe down on the Gano talk because he has missed extra points. Everybody this season wants to hang on to that 63-yard field goal against the Giants. That's great. You can't make a damn extra point. What can we count on you for? This is his 4th this year he's missed.
Yeah. And
then he missed the field goal today on top of it, and we wouldn't be in this conversation right now. We'd be talking about a W, an ugly W, but a W nonetheless. Now the Panthers are 6-4, losing to a 3-6, now 4-6 team against the Lions. They cannot play worth a shit on the road. And yes, I'm a little frustrated, if you can tell.
Yeah. It is frustrating. And, a lot of people are saying we should have went for the extra point. Gano had no confidence. His confidence was gone. Funch's confidence was gone. I thought it was
Could the defense get a stop either way?
Yeah, and we talked about it. Let's go for 2. It was there. Cam could have ran it.
Cam was, he had an opportunity, but he had right. Yeah. He had right. He just overthrew him.
Yeah.
He tried a jump pass, and it was awful. Mike Reeves, my buddy Mike Reeves up here on Facebook Live. So what do y'all think about Washington as our DC? I know you didn't love how Wilkes blitzed all the time last year, but this year with Washington, don't nearly get enough pressure on the QB that we were used to. Mike, fun fact, Eric Washington blitzes just as much as Steve Wilkes did last year, and we're having the same results. I'm blaming the players like I talked about in the preview this week.
There was a ton of missed tackles in the first 3/4 of the game.
Yeah.
And that's on the players. That has nothing to do with DC.
Yep.
He can call the schemes. They have to make the plays.
You can't, there are guys constantly right there to make a tackle this game mainly against Kerryon Johnson and Kenny Galladay. The 2 guys we just had to stop. We had to stop Kenny Galladay and Kerryon Johnson. That was it. I mean, you got Matt Stafford, sure. It was clear as day Bruce Ellington wasn't going to be a factor because he couldn't catch the ball. Him and Stafford were off all game. So you can come at me with but Matt Stafford could find somebody else trip. Yeah, sure, he could find somebody else. He didn't. He went to Kerryon Johnson run the ball, and he went to Kenny Galladay, who, by the way, was matched up against James Bradberry. Billy, I just made a discussion. We were talking about Pro Bowl voting, and you were talking about James Bradberry, and I said, no, he's always so close, but he's never there. This is another one of those games where I feel like he's always right there with the guy, but he can never finish.
Yeah.
He's always looking at the defender, and in some cases that's not bad because you can play through the ball, play through the defender, and break things up. But he's rarely getting the pass breakups. He's hardly ever getting an interception. It's so frustrating week in and week out. I mean, Kenny Galladay's not like a agile dude.
No, he's just a big guy. He's just Calvin Johnson Jr. basically. For them, he's just a tall guy. And he had 113 yards and 8 catches today, and the touchdown really cements Bradberry as just
questionable. And look, I know some people have been talking about Devin Funchess being a $15 million a year player next year. No.
We're going to ship him to Buffalo, too.
And if he is, I don't want him. Devin Funchess, I'm not saying Devin Funchess is trash after this one game, but this was awful. I mean, there were big times he had to make big plays in this game, and in earlier this season he had a similar situation. I can't remember which team it was against, but he dropped passes early on in the game and came back and made some big ones. He did make one big one late after his 5th consecutive drop, but after that it was right back to it. And then Cam missed him on a deep ball. But no, if he's going to cost $15 million a year, I don't want him.
And you want to talk
he's
about
not worth that.
$15 million.
He's not worth 10 to me.
We got Curtis Samuel that played one drive. One drive!
After torching him that one drive for like 45 yards and a touchdown, who's always open.
5 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. He gets the touchdown, take him out. It changed the whole offense.
Yeah, the next drive he was out. The second to last drive of the game, he wasn't even in there. That one drive where he scored the touchdown, he was, and it's not even like that one drive. It's every time he's in the game, Billy. It's like when he's incorporated in drives, he's getting open. He's doing this. He's doing that. Yards after catch. And then it's like, okay, woo, thank you for bringing us back, Curtis, but we're going to have you take a seat now and let our other guys do this work.
I really want to look at it, and I'll look at it in this week to see what his percentage of touches is to touchdowns. Touchdowns to touches, because he only had 5 today and a TD.
It's ridiculous how open he gets, and he's never in the game. It's beyond frustrating at this point, and there's no excuse for it. Torrey Smith isn't in there. If you have to sit Jarius Wright, sit his ass. Put somebody. I don't know what your scheming is, but it's not working. I mean, it was working for 2 weeks against Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Tampa Bay's garbage. So don't even come at me with that. Baltimore is looking like we talked about it in the preview before the Baltimore game, how we felt like Baltimore was getting a little more credit than they were due.
Yep.
And that's starting to be the case. I mean, we came out and whooped them at home. We play great at home.
I mean,
we're going to find out how great next week against the Seahawks, because right now I don't feel confident about that game at all.
And at this point today, looking at stats and what happened on the field, Funchess could have stayed on the sideline.
Yep.
Run Jarius Wright, Curtis Samuel, and DJ Moore.
Did they even run Cam once at the goal line today? They didn't.
No.
They didn't run one damn option with Cam at the goal line today.
Cam Newton had 2 carries. He had 2 yards.
Let's talk about this rushing for a second. Carolina comes in, 3rd ranked. What I don't even know what the rushing average was a game for this week coming in. But I know they were well over 100 yards, like 130 or something or whatever. Today, Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries, 53 yards, 4.1 average. Cam Newton, 2 carries, 2 yards. Cameron Artis-Payne, here comes the C.J. Anderson hate. Watch out now. C.J. Anderson would have been a difference in his game, I'm here to tell you.
We saw his one play.
And we saw what happened.
To be bottled up and fall forward for 1 yard. And then we saw him come in one more time.
Awful. 16 total team carries, Billy, for 56 yards.
That's why we got rid of Anderson, to see him for 2 plays and to see 1 yard on one carry.
No.
Now I'm not going to say that we wanted to see more of them.
No,
but that's what you wanted to do, and we saw him on our second drive and said bye bye.
No. That's not what they wanted to do. They got rid of C.J. Anderson because they weren't using him.
I understand that, but
not because of Cameron Artis-Payne. Yeah, they said that. That's not what they look. If you're reading into the media and what the coaches are saying to the media, don't.
Well, I'm just saying, but we know that they weren't using him.
Yeah, they weren't going to use Cameron Artis-Payne. They were not going to use him we want to see what he can do. No, they don't. He's just as good as C.J. Anderson at this point, because C.J. Anderson wasn't going to get used. Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries, 53 yards, 4.1 yard average. When he was running the ball, he looked fine at times. But then they started going to the pass because the pass defense was awful for Detroit, and a lot of it was there, but Funchess kept dropping passes, killing drives. DJ Moore, hell of a game for the rookie. 7 catches, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, had the long 82-yard catch, obviously. Couldn't finish that one off for a touchdown. And that was the one that Gano missed the field goal on. So that was a wasted drive. And again, did we rush the ball there? I don't think we did.
No, because we had 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 on the 3-yard line.
Yep.
Get the first down, get 4 more downs. We threw it. Took a sack, missed a field goal.
Yep.
We've always been a team that let's move the chains, we grind it out. It's obviously at short distance, Cam is big enough to fall forward and get 2 yards, a yard. And it was wide open. They weren't even, the hole was there.
Yep.
I did.
Gary Sidbury on Facebook Live. Funchess is not, capital letters, a number one receiver. He is not a clutch receiver. We need to fire Washington as defensive coordinator. Numbers on defense is steady on a decline week by week. Guys, I really hate to say this again. I don't think Eric Washington is the problem. I think our defense is just bad. Luke Kuechly is not making tackles.
Yep.
If Luke Kuechly is struggling making tackles this year, there's a bigger problem on defense. The defensive line is just – the offensive lines against our defensive line are just opening holes for running back. This isn't a playoff caliber defense right now. And I expected, like many of you, as I've seen in the chat so far, I expected much more coming off that Steelers defense. Billy and I talked about it. We said, we should definitely win this game, but anything less than 10 points would be a disappointment. And here we are talking about a loss. Billy, let's break down the decision to go for the 2 at the end right quick. So I know this is probably going to be, here come the Fire Rivera and Fire Washington hashtags. This is going to be a major discussion over the next week. You know how we talked about everything's irrationalized, and here we are making it irrational somewhat, I guess. But this is 2 back-to-back weeks. This is inexcusable. The Steelers defensively was inexcusable, but it was on the road on a short week and against the Steelers. You can kind of let some of it go. What are your thoughts going into this extra point, 2-point conversion?
Well, I said when we had
mixed feelings live.
A minute and 30 seconds left. I said if we score, we're going for 2.
Yeah.
There's no way that we put it on Gano.
Yeah.
He had 3 opportunities to score for us today, and he missed on 2 of them.
Yep.
With how we were running the ball at averaging 4 yards when we put McCaffrey outside, inside, didn't matter. We could score. We're going from the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Cam's big enough to run it.
You have so many options.
Yeah.
Typically, if you're running the option-style bootleg plays that you saw, like Greg Olson's first touchdown on the opening drive, for instance.
And I was really surprised that
after Funchess dropped
the play they called was to keep Cam in the pocket, that it wasn't a bootleg to cause some motion in the backfield and some misdirection, running the routes. To keep him in the pocket when Norv Turner said this week that the Steelers took Cam's ability to run away and that they were going to work on that, and it was going to come back.
Yeah.
2 carries for 2 yards. He didn't take off. He took 3
it was
big
ridiculous.
sacks.
This Detroit defense was so bad today. Yeah. They weren't good. Cam's, what was he sacked twice? 3 times? 2 of his sacks were on him. 2 of them. That's that drives me up the wall. Cam can't have those sacks. Now, Gano should have still made the 34-yard field goal after the sack, sure. But otherwise, that's a chip shot. And I would, like I told others on Twitter earlier, I would bet my paycheck that Graham Gano would not miss that because there's just almost no way he hooks it that bad from that close. But the other one is inexcusable. But this defense, Funchess kept dropping balls today, and their cornerbacks are getting up, clapping like they did something. It's like, no, he was wide open.
Yep. And
he just flat out dropped the ball. Drive killers. Absolute drive killers. This team is hurting themselves, and it's frustrating right now. There's nothing anybody can say to me right now that's going to say, Trip, this team can still, they can still get better, but I'm saying that, Trip, we have a legit chance against the Seahawks next week. Sure we do. We haven't played the game yet.
Yeah.
But we just lost to the Lions. And the Lions aren't good.
Yes.
And no Lions fan is going to convince me of that. You were without Marvin Jones. Kerryon Johnson got injured today, which, thank goodness, because otherwise it probably would have been real bad. Maybe we're just bad. We're the worst 6-4 team in the NFL right now, man.
I would definitely say that. And, you're talking about Luke not playing like Luke. The only time that Luke plays like Luke is in the 4th quarter. That's when he decides to step up and
jacks up, and that's fine. I'll take that. The defense, as much as they gave up big plays today, outside of the James Bradbury last touchdown, but they never broke.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. Like, they gave up the first drive, and we're like, oh, my God, here we go again. But I feel like that's the case every week. The Panthers, we talked about this during the game. The Panthers' defense always gives up early, and then they always seem to make the best adjustments. They'll bend. They might give up a big play here or there, but they hold the field goals. And this is a season where I felt like the offense could actually keep up, and that's not the case. And I'm starting to wonder if it is the case. The last 2 weeks, we talked about how they scored, against the Ravens, the Bucks, and then the Philly game. The last 6 quarters or 8 quarters or whatever it was, they had scored 90-some points on offense. Okay, with the last 8 quarters, the Panthers have scored 31 points of offense. Or, no, I'm sorry, 29.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, something. So, I mean,
it's hard to have an explanation for what we saw today. There's no excuse. Definitely Funchess, no excuse.
37 points of offense, Billy, by the way.
37, okay.
But still, it's awful. It's been awful.
Oh, because we did score a couple late in the Steelers game.
Yeah. Oh, they actually scored 21. I was counting them as 14 because that's when I clocked out of the game mentally.
That's when I left.
Yeah, that's when I clocked out. I was at the game, but that's when I clocked out mentally. And now we're going to the New Orleans game in a few weeks. Whew. I hope they really do play better at home. I'm going to read some of y'all's comments here. Most earned on YouTube Live. Cam don't have to run if we catch the ball and getting open. Oh, crap. Y'all keep jumping in. Although also those sacks were coverage sacks. No one was open. That's fine, but throw the damn ball away. There's no excuse if Cam Newton is back there for 7 to 10 seconds that he takes a sack. There's no excuse, and there's nothing anybody can do to convince me of that.
Throw the ball away.
Throw the ball away.
Take off running.
Run the fucking ball.
Take off running.
Run the ball.
And there was the ones he had.
He had a touchdown on that one.
I think he had a touchdown on the 2-point conversion. He had a touchdown on the other one. He had first downs on the other 2 sacks. I don't know. And maybe, I can't remember when his ankle or whatever it was injured. At what point in the game compared to those sacks it was. Maybe, but he didn't run before that.
Nope.
So,
and the crazy part, and this is probably mainly because Kerryon Johnson went out injured. 15 carries, 87 yards for Kerryon while he was in the game with a touchdown. 5.8 average yards per carry.
You went over.
They ended with 94. Still held them under 100.
Over 40 of those yards were on that first drive.
Yep, 45 of them. 45 were on that first drive, and the defense stepped up, and the offense could get nothing going. Outside of when Curtis Samuel was in the game, of course. And then they drove down the field with him multiple times, hit him for 3 or 4 catches, and one of them was a touchdown. And they took him out the next drive. And then we went for 2, which is, personally for me, I was on the fence. I was like, you can't put Gano out there because if we miss it, it's ball game. You're talking about 2 yards. Surely our offense can get 2 yards here and give us the lead. Gano's already missed 2. He's missed a field goal. He's missed an extra point. You don't have the confidence. Give your offense the confidence a little bit, and then they come up with that play, which the play call worked. Wright was there. Cam just missed him. I'm going to be interested to see some of these player pressers afterwards, coaches' pressers afterwards as well. But obviously we're live, so it's kind of hard to hit on that. Kenny Golladay, 8 catches, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. James Bradbury is not a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback, ladies and gentlemen. Billy? That was terrible.
If you add the last 2 weeks, yes.
It was
He
awful.
has taken a big step back.
And I think this defense in general is still taking a big step back. Like they're trending down. The pass rush, it started to show up late there when we needed it, but then it disappeared again. The throw to Golladay on the scramble by Stafford late to extend that drive was just an absolute dagger. I mean, he moved out of the pocket, chunked it, and Bradbury just lost Golladay. And I don't, just more frustrating things. Colton on YouTube Live, why did we stop doing all the misdirections that were working early in the year? Hey!
I talked about it.
We talked about it during the game. And where is the scheming for all these misdirections. I don't know if he's trying to hold on to it, but Norv, hello, we're knocking on not making the playoffs at this point.
And I talked about it, I think the third time we were pinned within the 5 after a punt. And I was like, where has it been? And they've abandoned it. They abandoned having Curtis Samuel in the game. I don't know. I thought Norv called really good games at the beginning of the year, but
he was early on.
Did he call Shula and say, "Hey, can I have your playbook?"
And I mean, Funches hurt some of these drives.
Yeah, he did, but
I agree. Where are those reverses and all these weird looking plays that he schemed up with the misdirections gone? They've disappeared.
Third and 2, averaging 4 yards a carry, over 4 yards a carry for McCaffrey. And you're going to call up a pass play that, yes, it could be there, but it's not high percentage today.
No.
You have a better chance putting it on the ground.
I don't know. Corey Davis on Facebook, slightly good news. Atlanta and Tampa Bay lost. Maybe Philadelphia will do us a favor. Yes, and also the Redskins lost today, correct?
Yeah.
They were one of the 2 teams ahead of us record-wise because they owned a tiebreaker against us, but unfortunately we lost, so now they still own a tiebreaker. An NFC matchup right now, NFC playoff picture, we have the 5th seed with the wild card, and I think the Redskins had the 4th seed. They're still going to own the 4th seed, though Alex Smith looks like he's about done this year.
He's gone. It was a broken foot or a broken ankle.
Is that
That's
official?
what I read.
Yeah. That was pretty rough. Tommy Walker on YouTube Live. We need DJ and Samuel to be on the field. I completely agree. There's no excuse for it at this point. I don't, it can be hard to get all these guys on the field. Because, look, Jarius Wright had good plays today.
I'd rather see more Samuel and Wright and Funches rotate in. He doesn't play like the big guy he is. He can't catch the ball. Use the speed. Use the small intermediate passes. Burn them over the top every once in a while. Have Christian McCaffrey, our other receiver, who was second on the team today.
Yeah. I don't know. And look, something about Cam, his velocity on his throws does not look right, in my opinion. We talked about the shoulder injury this year. Something is off, man. When he's throwing those deep balls, they have a little bit more loft. They're not as strong. And some of them need to be. Like one of them to Samuel today, I was like, oh, that's normally a laser from Cam. And there's a chance he's maybe let off, tried to learn how to let off on a little bit. But some of these just don't look Cam-esque, if you ask me. And I'm a little bit concerned about that. But, I mean, he was still putting the ball on point today. The touchdown to Moore towards the end of that game, huge. I mean, that was a great pass. And then he comes back and throws a damn wild one against Right. It's so frustrating.
And I mean, he almost had it. It went off his hands.
Yeah, and look, props to Cam for keeping on going to Devin Funchess this throughout the game. I mean, I don't know how he was still in the game. If that's anybody else, if that's DJ Moore, he's pulled. If it's Curtis Samuel, he's pulled.
Well, Curtis Samuel gets a touchdown, he's pulled.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my point. It's Devin Funchess though. He's been with us since 2015. He'll learn from these mistakes. No, you can put somebody else in the damn game.
It just makes me go back to the conversation we had before all the games started today about the Browns' whole fiasco.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. Let me be a head coach.
Yeah, and
I would put Curtis Samuel in. We
talked about in the preview, Billy, how these next 4 games were all winnable games, and that we needed them all. Like a 3-1 would be, whoo, that's not good, but we can live with it. Well, here we are down 0-1 in the next 4. And we got the Seahawks next week at home. And look, we've played good. We've played good at home this year. I'm not well, really this year and a little bit of last year, but I'm not knocking that. But that's not going to be an easy game, especially the way we played the last 2 weeks. They got to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Because if you lose to the Seahawks, guys, right now this isn't a playoff caliber team, what I've seen the last few weeks. And I don't judge week to week. We talked about that on the previous show. I try not to judge week to week. I try to look at the full picture and what we've done. Oh, we had a bad week in Pittsburgh. Okay, well, this is 2 straight bad weeks. We can't go in there. The Seattle Seahawks are trending up right now. We are trending down. They're going to be coming across country. We have a good opportunity. We're going to have to hit them in the mouth early. This is never an easy game for the Panthers. This is like a division rival game for us for some reason.
Yeah.
We've got to be able to win this next game. There's no excuses. Really, the next 3. We can't come out of this next 4-game stretch before facing the Saints on Monday Night Football with a 2-2, 8-6 record. That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
it's just not gonna cut it. Jerry McKinney on Facebook, Samuels, Moore, Wright, and Smith. I think he's talking about the wide receiver core he would like to see. Most earned TV. I like Demir Bird getting snaps. He was good last year. Maybe. But Curtis Samuel needs all of those snaps at this point. There's no excuse. Like, he's shown his ability.
And even, that next drive, I was like, oh, Samuel's back in. They did put Bird in. I just don't.
He's
don't
fast.
understand.
I get it for a deep shot, maybe to take the top off, but
Samuel's fast,
yes,
and he catches the ball.
He is.
So I don't get where the coaches say, okay, Samuel did this.
Samuel's a better route runner, where Bird he can shoot straight down the field and get open. But we're not taking shots down the field, so I know you still have to do that to keep other things open, but I don't know, man.
Just get him in, like we were talking about, Moore and his ability to break tackles is ridiculous. Just get it in his hands. 5-8 yards down the field. Let him do it. Let him work.
Yep.
But frustrating. Samuel can break tackles, but he can't catch the ball from the sideline.
Bernard Hamilton saying we need the Vikings to lose now. That is also true because technically that's who we're facing up again in the playoff picture. Damian Widener on Facebook Live, bad execution, not coaching. Hey, look, and I tend to agree with that. This right now is, you can only go so long saying it's coaching. You make coaching changes, and then we got a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. The defense hasn't changed one bit since last year. As far as giving up big plays and stuff wise, blitzing. Offensive coordinator was making strides early in the season, but here the last couple of weeks, it's we'll throw that playbook to the side. We don't need that shit.
He's dusted
off
What's
up, baby? We don't need that shit. What's up, baby? Yes, you do need it. Go pick your damn playbook up.
And the execution, Funchess is who I'd blame the execution on today.
On offense, yeah. Sure.
And offense. And defense, of course, yes.
Yep.
I mean, Reed stepping up has a guy squared up, grabs his towel.
Tackling is the worst problem with our defense right now.
When they have the yak, it's got to be horrendous this game. When they bring that stat out, it's got to be horrendous.
So bad. And then Carolina falls to 0-3, I think it is, on the season when not having a turnover forced in the game or losing a turnover battle.
Yep.
Obviously, late in the game, late in the first half, the Lions had the pick against Cam when he kind of hurled the ball up, and then they held him to no points, but it's a turnover, so it counts as part of that. But disappointing game overall. You look at these total yardages on offense, and you're sitting here wondering, I'm looking at these stats, Bill, and I'm like, how did they beat us in this situation? Oh, well, we didn't kick you could argue the point after, should have done that instead of going for 2, whatever.
Came out.
It doesn't matter to me.
Came out, had another dumpster fire third quarter.
Yeah. Scored no points. Panthers have only scored 13 total points in the third quarter throughout this entire season. 13 points in the third quarter this entire season. That's the worst in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. And it's awful. That's not going to get it done. Especially on the road, because that's the biggest problem. Just bad overall. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to look at y'all's chat one more time, then I'm going to go watch some other football. Hopefully watch the Eagles upset the Saints, because, damn, we really need it now. Guys like Vernon Butler and Poe were supposed to get interior pressure, making life easier on the DNs. Hey, yep, that's part of what I was talking about with the players instead of the coaching. Maybe our defensive front just isn't as good as it used to be, particularly our defensive line.
And you did see more rotation. He said he was going to put more rotation and find the best, and you saw it today.
You saw Haynes come in today, speed rusher off the edge, and he almost got there once.
Yep.
But
and Kenneth Hilton says, "What about the late hit on Cam?" That's on the refs. I thought it was low and late.
Yeah. Considering what they've called this year, but it doesn't change the outcome of this game, in my opinion. The Panthers have to play better. I'm not gonna get into like penalties and stuff throughout this whole game. It was an awful game by the Panthers. There's no reason they should have lost it. And I think they're going to tell you the same. And we're probably going to hear the same stuff this week. You know, we just got to get better. We got to get better. And we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I don't want to hear anything else. I want to see some results. Show me against the Seahawks next week that you're going to put a better product on the field in the last 2 weeks. I'm sorry. It's inexcusable what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. And
it is.
Look, Monica on Facebook Live, I ain't trying to cancel my room for the Super Bowl. Let's go, Panthers. I mean, I'm with you, sister. I ain't got no room for the Super Bowl, but I will get one. Well, probably not because they're probably already sold out. But
it's 10-0 already in New Orleans.
Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's ball game. Good talk though, Eagles. Anyway, missed opportunities, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm not gonna sit here and drill these things into like oblivion because I think it's clear. We've talked about it enough. We're going to hit on it some more in our preview show coming up for the Seattle Seahawks game next week, which is, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I ain't picking the Panthers in that game. Not going to do it. I don't care that they're at home. Spoiler alert. We'll hit on it some more there, but Billy, you got anything else for today's game that you thought of?
Funchess looked like KB Jr. today.
Ooh.
And...
Bruh, Funchess, he just called you out on KB.
$15 million contract. You're going to have to go somewhere else to get it.
Yeah, you're going to have to go a long way. Sammy Watkins didn't deserve the contract he got. And you could argue he's better than Funchess.
And Gano.
Jeremy, no, we weren't doing phone calls.
Gano has killed us.
Yeah,
and we
that was a big difference today. And I don't want to hear anything else about praising Gano. He's bad, dude.
And he's
bad. He cost us games. Block. Yeah,
in the offseason.
Yeah. Well, no, last season. Until he had like the highest kicking percentage of any
He's
kicker.
Been on the chopping block.
And then we extend him, and now he's right back to, I got this money, and whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm sure that's not his mentality, but you have to be able to make those damn kicks. You're costing us games, man.
Maybe he should stop practicing from the 60 in pregame. Start practicing from
practicing
the
a damn
point.
34. Don't how often is it you kick a damn 60-yard field goal? Let's be honest here. Anyway, guys, for Panthersaurus live show post game, y'all go ahead and like and follow us right here on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at TripMorgan6. He's at BHarless and then at Panthersaurus as well. That's where we post all of our stuff and media and whatnot. So follow along with us throughout the rest of the season. Y'all be sure to check out our new group, the Panthersaurus Fan Talk group. It's under our page. We are having some issues with adding people right now. I don't know. People send in requests, and I ask about it, and like it shows up on my notifications. I go to click add, and it says, "Oh, you have no requests." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you just sent me like 5 of them." So I might end up making that group public because I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I've looked into it, can't find any reason for it. But y'all continue to do that. I just heard a subscribe come through, so appreciate that. And y'all keep pounding. Billy, anything else?
See ya.
On to Seattle, I guess.
Yeah, on to Seattle.
Damn it. 6-4 your Carolina Panthers. And slowly digressing, or quickly, I guess. Y'all keep pounding. We'll see you Wednesday for the preview show, hopefully. We'll keep you posted. But see y'all then.